Bill Gates on making one of the greatest mistakes ever. His reply, in short, no, not in a company's earliest years, and especially not if that company is building a software platform. As Gates told in fact, Gates is still kicking himself for taking his eyes off the ball and allowing Google to develop Android, the standard. You can find their entire chat below, but here's Gates' full response to whether he thinks it worth it to focus narrowly on work or whether early-stage founders can strike a better balance. I think you could over-worship and mythologize the idea of working extremely hard. For my particular, once I got into my 30s, I could hardly even imagine how I had done that. Because by then, but yes, it is nice if during those first several years, you have a team that has chosen to be pretty maniacal about the company, and how far that goes, you should have a mutual understanding, so you're not one person expecting one thing, and another person expecting another thing. And you will have individuals who have, health or relatives or things that distract them. But yes, in the software world, in particular for platforms, these are winner-take-all markets. So, it really is winner-take-all. If you're there with and it's amazing to me, having made one of the greatest mistakes of all time, and there was this and various things that, our other assets, Windows, Office, are still very strong. So we are a leading, so this idea that just small differences can magnify themselves doesn't exist for a lot of businesses. If you're
raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.